Okay, so let's go back into our VS Code. So we said we wanted to send an email to the customer whenever a seat has been booked with a seat number. Okay, so let's do that quickly. So we are going to create an emailing function that is going to handle that for us. Okay, so let's jump into helpers.py file and let's create it here. So the function is going to be called email customer. Customer. It is going to take the first name, the last name, the seat number or the seat now, and the movie title. All right. So the next thing we want to do is construct the email. Okay, so I'm going to use a function from Django which is render to string. So we are going to call the variable message render message, which is equal to render to string. Let's import it in from Django dot template dot loaders import render, supposed to be loader. Render to string. All right, so render to string is going to take the template, name and the context dictionary. So the template name will be email template dot html. Okay, then the next thing is the context dictionary. We are going to pass it the first name, or even here we just need the first name. We don't need the last name, it's not needed. Just need the first name, which is going to be the first name, and we need the movie title, movie title, and the seat number. Alright, so that's going to be seat number. Okay, so now we have the render to string. So now we have to write the email itself inside the email, the HTML file. So let's go into our templates folder, create a new file called email underscore template dot html. Okay, so it's going to be hello, give a space, and the first name we want to make it capital, the first letter capital. So we're going to use the title, this one. Okay, templates loader or template, whatever. And the next thing is going to, the message is going to, thank you for purchasing seat number, then seat num for the movie movie title. Sorry. All right. Hope you enjoy it. Full stop. Let's put a full stop here. Put a comma here. All right. Then I'll thank you once again. Oliver, no, Dev. CEO Django movies. Alright, you can put in your name here if you want to. Alright, so now we have our message here. So render to string is going to just grab all the message you have typed here in this format, so I'll be able to send a neatly formatted message to our customers. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is send the email. We are going to use Django send email function. Let's import it in from Django dot core dot mail import send mail. All right, so send mail is expecting the subject, so the subject is going to be Django movies. Let's put a dash here. All right, Django movies. Then thank you for purchasing a ticket. The next thing it wants is the message. So the message is going to be the rendered message. Here. The next thing it wants is the from URL, or the from email. Sorry, from email instead. That one we are going to specify it inside our settings.py file. So let's reference it, settings dot email underscore user. All right. The next thing it wants is the recipient's email, and it says here that it wants it as a list. It's expecting a list, so we pass the list here, and with the email make the comma so it becomes a list, a valid list. All right. Okay, so first you need to take in the email here. Sorry. Right, so now you're taking in the email. Okay, so this is all we need to send the email. So this is our email sending function. All right, so let's save this, guys, and let's go back into our view, and beneath this let's call email customer. It's going to take the first name, the next thing it's going to take is the city name, the next thing it will take is the movie title, the next thing it will take is the email. All right, so this is what we need to send the email. So here is supposed to be a full stop. All right, full stop. It's supposed to be a comma, not a full stop. All right, thank you. So now you have to do the configuration for us to be able to receive the email. So let's jump into our settings.py file. Let's go beneath Alright, let's leave a comment here, call it email config. The first thing we need is the email, capital email underscore backend. It's going to be equal to, because you are in production and you just want in development and you just want to test the email fast, you are going to use the Django, the email backend, or the console backend, sorry. So now we're going to import it from Django dot core dot mail dot backend dot console dot email backend. Oh guys, email backend. All right, the next thing we need is we are going to put in some other configuration, even though they are not needed here. We will need it when you are shifting from the email, the console backend to the SMTP1. Okay, so let's make the set the email host. Sorry guys, let's just set it down once and for all. Email host, we are going to use SMTP Gmail, just the Gmail one, just for this app, and the port, you know, is equal to email port is equal to 587. There. Okay, so we just need these two. When we get to when you are coming to implement the Gmail part, you add the rest too as well. Okay, so let's save this. Let's go back to our function. Now it is calling it. So let's go to our app and let's test it out and see whether it's going to work. So let's book for these two. Okay, let's fill in our details. Okay, success, and let's pay. Alright, let's check whether you have a server error. Alright, it's saying the settings has no attribute. Okay, so we know where the error is coming from. This guy here is getting an email user which has not yet been set. Okay, so let's carry it. Let's make this thing email host user. Let's declare that variable here, or else our function will keep on breaking. I'm sorry for that, guys. So now let's set this thing to admin at movies.com. Let's just use this for the meantime. I'm very sorry for that. Now let's go back and try it once again. Okay, let's book for this too. Alright, still had another 500 error. Oh guys, we didn't save this file here. I'm very sorry for that. Final one, let's try it again. This time around we are booking for just one. Let's book for just this one. Okay. Alright guys, let's check. Okay, this time it's working, so let's check our console. Okay, you can see our emails are printing here. Let me enlarge this a little bit. Okay, so you can see the email has printed here. It says it has the subject movie, Django movies. Thank you for purchasing the tickets from this address. From it has hello, my name was there, Oliver. So thank you for purchasing the seat number for the movie Joker. Enjoy it. Hope you enjoy it. Blah blah blah. Okay, so you know that it is working now. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is that we don't want our messages to be printing here. We want it to be sent to a particular email, either Gmail or SendGrid, whatever one you are using. You want it to be sent to it. So you are going to change this one to an smtp.gmail, the console to .smtp. Okay guys, so currently we are using the back end or the console as where our emails should be printed, but we want to use Gmail as what is going to send our Gmails out. So we are going to change this thing here to from console.email backend to smtp.gmail.com. Alright, and the next thing we want is you are supposed to have a Gmail account and a password. So we are not going to put the password inside our settings.py file. So we are going to keep it inside our environment variable, as we have been doing for the other secrets as well. So going to be from os.environ.get. we're going to get the email, this thing here, v. Alright, and the next thing we want is the email host password. These variables should be the same as what has been specified here, or else it won't work. So os, we are going to get that one too, also from the environment variable. Okay, dot get email host password. Alright, and the last thing that we want is email use TLS. Set it to true so that our emails will use an encrypted connection. Okay, so this is what we need. So we need to declare inside our environment file these two environment variables. I don't know how you're going to put it. These two environment variables. All right, so let's save this. So let's go to our settings, our environment file, you can see I've already provided you with this export email user and email password. So email password, I don't want you to use the actual password to your email. So Gmail provides you with the ability to create an app password, which allows applications to use to log into your Gmail. So this is how it is. Okay, so sign in with app password. So I'm going to leave the URL inside the description. Okay, so how to create one is here. So you just follow the instruction here. Just follow the instruction here. You'll be able to create an app password, and you use that one instead as the password, as your password here. Don't use your normal password for that. So you can put in your email here. Okay, so I'm going to declare my password beneath just as I did for the Paystack one too. It's over here, so don't worry about it. Then save it. Okay guys, so I have added my email password to, or the app password to it, so I'm going to take this one off. Alright, now let's save it. Sorry, let's save it. So before we go on and use it, let me quickly restart my server, sourcing my .env file. Let's run the server once again. Alright, okay, so let's go back to the website again. Okay, my server is now running. Okay, so now let's book these 2 seats. Let's hope that it is going to work. Let me open up my Gmail here. So it's going to open. Yeah, let's book for these 2 seats here. Hopefully it's going to work. And guys, if you do not know, Paystack is owned by Stripe, or is owned by Stripe, so its mother is Stripe. So it's also like it's the Stripe of Africa. So if you don't know, I'm just letting you know. Maybe you are not based in Africa or in any African country. So let's go with the success. Let's hopefully this time around, let's see it's going to work. Let's go back to our console. Okay, so we have an error. It says there's no module called backends for Gmail. So guys, you are getting an error that a module whatever can't, it's not a package. So I made a mistake. It's supposed to be email backend instead. smtp.email back end, not back end, back end, this way. Let's save it. Okay, let's go back and test it once again. Wow. There are a lot of errors, and it's all part of the development process. So let's wait for this. Alright, let's fill in with our details. Okay, let's go back. Okay guys, so we are getting another error here saying that authorization required. Okay, so the error is from our .env file. Inside our .env file, we are setting the user as email user, but inside here we are referencing email host user, which is not that. So you're supposed to take this part off, and this part is supposed to be email password. Alright, just this. Alright, so let's go back again. Finally, I think this time around it's going to work. Let's book for this one. Yeah. Okay, let's go back. So guys, we had another error, the same error again, and the mistake is from here. It's supposed to be email, not email. Email. I don't even know what it's pronounced. Let's go back again. This time around, I'm hoping it's work. It's going to work. It's supposed to work because we don't have any. Let's book for this one here. Sorry guys for the errors I'm making. It's just to make you see the errors that you go through before you get an app working. Make it realistic too as well. Let's pay. Okay, so this time around we had a 200. Okay, so let's go back into my Gmail and check whether this is the time. It's where would we even get the time from? It's 2:50 something around here. So okay, so you see we just received an email 2:55 just now 2:55. Okay, let's open it. Okay, so you see we have it there. Look for Joker, and let's go back to the page again. The movie was Joker, $10, book 28. Okay, so our email function is working perfectly. Okay, but there's a problem. The problem is that before this webhook is going to return the 200 that it is successful, this function here, or the function that sends the email, is going to hold on the process, preventing the 200 to be sent. So it is not sent asynchronously, which can be done in JavaScript very simply, but this one is done synchronously. So we want to make the sending of the email async using a package inside Python called Celery. So the next thing we want to implement is Celery. So Celery is going to handle the sending of the email to the user so that it won't delay us. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is implement Celery. So the first thing we do is to implement Celery is that inside the root folder where the root project, where the settings file is located, you are going to create a new file called Celery. Celery.py. Okay, so we are going to import Celery. So first you need to pip install Celery first. Pip installed Celery, that's it. So from Celery, import Celery. Okay, so then the next thing we do is set an environment. So os dot. So the next thing we want to do is import os2. Import os. Alright. That's os dot set default. Set default. We are going to set the Django underscore settings module to the app settings. So it's going to be for our project is movie website. The name here. Okay, so movie website dot settings. So dot settings. All right. The next thing we want to do is create a Celery app. So app equal to Celery into brackets. Then we provide the project name, which is movie website. Okay. The next thing we do is a configuration. So app, we configure the app.config. Okay. No. Config from object. Then we provide the conf as the setting. So Django.conf settings here, and the namespace going to be equal to Celery. All right, Okay, the last thing we need is app.auto discover tax. All right, then initiate it. This is it. Okay, so these are the settings that we need for Celery to work. For Celery to be started when the project is run, so the moment you run python manage.py run python manage.py run server, we need Celery to be started. So inside the init file, you are going to make some small minor changes. Okay, so from .celery import app as Celery app, no Celery app. Okay, then $or is equal to Celery underscore app. All right, so we just need these two things for Celery to be initiated when python manage.py is run. Okay, so now we have integrated Celery into our project. The next thing we want to do is to create a Celery tax. So inside our movies app here, we are going to create a file called tax.py. If it is not tax.py, Celery won't be able to recognize it. So let's close down this one. Okay, so we are going to create our tax. So from Celery import okay, from Celery import shared tax. And from .movies website import, sorry, not dot, for movie website import sorry guys, from movie website.celery, this is what I wanted instead. Import app. We are importing the Celery app here, and now we want to import from .helpers, import the email or the email customer, the function for sending the email. Okay, so this thing here, we won't even use it, so let me take it out. So let's go ahead and create the tax. So the tax is going to be called mailing. It is going to take first name, just as the email customer does, email, seat num, and the movie title. All right, then what you are going to do is you are going to call email customer. What we need is the first name, sorry, oh guys, I'm making a lot of mistakes. First name, first name. The next thing we need is the seat num. The next thing we need is the movie title. and the last thing we need is the email. Okay, so this is just a normal function. So to make this a Celery tax, we are going to put a decorator on it. So app dot tax, and you are going to provide the tax a name. Name is equal to emailing customer. I don't know, emailing customer. All right, so now we have a Celery tax. All right, okay, so for Celery to work, it needs a messaging broker. The popular ones are Redis and RabbitMQ. So I'm going to leave the URL on how to install and set up RabbitMQ or Redis on your computer. Okay, so I'm going to start the Celery server, and we'll take it from there. So let me start the Celery server. So it's going to be Celery -a and the project name, movie website -l info. Worker. Okay, I'm having an error. Let me solve that out right now. So let me sort in my .env file, then let me run the command again. Okay, so I have started the Celery server, and as you can see here, Celery, and you can see the tax here. The tax here, we called our tax what? Emailing customer. All right, so Celery is working now. So for us to be able to use the tax to send the email to the customer, we need to call it over here. Okay, so let's import it in here. So going to call this we call the tax, what was the name of the tax? Mailing. So mailing. Okay, we call it mailing, and the argument it took is a bit different from how you have arranged here. So first it takes the first name. Takes the first name, then the next thing it takes is the email, the next thing it takes is the seat num, the next thing it takes is the movie title, okay. So we have provided all the details now. So when you call it this way, it is going to call it the normal way, just as Django calls it. For us to use Celery to send the email, you have to call a .delay on it like this way. Perfect. So let's save it. Okay, so I'm going to show you something over here. So you can see Celery is ready. Celery is ready to receive any emails, to receive any tax. Okay, let's take off the notes. Take note of the time here. Let's go back to our app. This time around, let's run this. Let's send 2 emails. Let me go back to my email again. Go back. So you can see we have just this one, these two here. It's not even needed. Let's just leave them there. Let's leave them there. All right, let's send out, let's purchase it. Okay, okay, so let's go back. So you can see at first it was just celery ready, whatever, and now it says what, receive tax. Then the tax was mailing customer, or emailing customer, tax emailing customer. So you see you booked for two seats, so 2 tax were sent, to one here, another one to here, and it says succeeded. Okay, so let's go back into our email and check whether it's working. Okay, let's give it some minutes. My internet is a little bit slow. Okay, so we just received two emails. Okay, so Celery is working perfectly. Okay, guys, you are almost done with our project. Guys, if you enjoy what I'm doing, please consider subscribing, like the video, comment in the comment section below. It's really going to help me. I'll be very grateful if you do that for me. Okay, so now we are almost done. The last thing, or the final thing we want to do, is we want to deploy our project to Heroku, so that others can also get access to what we are doing, or the project that we are worked on, or for us to be able to link it to our profile or inside our profile. Okay, so that other prospective employers can see it. So the last thing left is to host it on Heroku. All right, and make some small minor changes as well. Okay guys, so we have our emailing and the payment integration working, and also Celery is also working, but there is one or two things I want to fix before we deploy our application to Heroku. So let me show you. So let's say we want to purchase this seat. Make payment. Okay, we are being redirected. And we provide our details. Sorry. And we continue with the payment. Okay, you see when when the payment is successful, the payment, it does not redirect the customer to our home page. It still stays on the payment portal, which is not a good user experience at all. Okay, so we want to fix that one. And the next thing is that when you go to the page like this, and you see these seats are the ones booked. So let's move to Avengers. You see these ones are booked, but in the raw sense, these ones are not yet booked. Let me refresh the page and show you. You see all those ones will move. You see no seats are being booked. So we want to be able, just these two seats has been booked. So we want to be able to change, to update the movie that has been booked whenever we change this thing, or we change the movie. Okay, so those are the two things you are supposed to implement. From there, then we move on to the deployment to Heroku. Okay, so you are first going to create solve the redirection problem first, because that one is very simple. All we need is a view where Paystack is supposed to redirect the customer to after a transaction has been successful. So let's create that view. So it's going to be a simple view. So def payment confirm, going to take the request, then it is going to return an HTTP response with this detail, So guys, you can pause it and enter these details, just these details. All right, so let's save it, let's send it to our URLs. Let's open it up. Okay, go down, pay path, payment underscore confirm, payment underscore, let's make it a dash instead, payment dash confirm. Then you want to use the payment confirm, then give it a name equals to payment dash confirm also. All right, okay, so let's just go to this endpoint and see what is over there. Payment dash confirm, you see, this is what we get. Thank you, this is what you are going to get. All right, then you click here, it returns you to our, this is what you want to implement. All right, so now you have to find a way of sending the URL to Paystack, so that they will be able to redirect our customer back to that page we just created. Okay, so inside our views, okay, so whilst we are creating the function that is going to get the redirect URL or the payment URL, you see I said we are going to implement this later, the redirect URL. Okay, so the redirect URL cannot be a local host address, because Paystack cannot redirect to a local host. Okay, so it has to be a public URL. All right, so it's going to be a string of host URL. First, wait, settings dot host URL. We are going to declare, we are using host URL because it might change in production. It will be different from the one we are using for development. Slash payment dash confirm slash. All right, like this. All right, and let's go to our settings. Then we add another comment below, something like this. So website config and host underscore URL going to be equal to what we are using as the ngrok server or the ngrok URL. Let's provide it here this way. Can put an HTTPS here. Just this. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, now let's go back again and book another one again. So let's book for this and this. We are booking for Avengers. Let's choose this and let's continue. Okay, so you can see we are being redirected. Nice. You see, this time around we are not stuck on that website. Now we are being redirected here. Then we can go back to our home page using that link we provided. It's working nicely. Okay, so when you go to Avengers, okay, so it's left with the implementation of the refreshing, so that we'll be able to get the seats that are booked for that particular movie instead of keeping the old ones or the previous one too. Okay, so let's go to our Visual Studio Code. Then we are going to make the changes inside the JS file. Okay, so this is the code that is updating our UI when you go to the page to get the correct seat that has been booked already. All right. Okay, so we are going to make it a function for it to be called when we change the movie title inside the select element. Okay, so first let's make it a function. We're going to have a function called refresh seat. Okay, we're going to take anything. It's going to surround all this up to here, up to the end here. All right, this is it. We are almost done. I'm almost done with this part. So let's indent it a little bit. All right, perfect. Okay, so now it's a function now. So we want it to be called on the first time the page loads. So let's call it beneath refresh seat. Okay, but we also want it to be called whenever there is a change in the option, or the option of the select element is changed. We want it to be the seat to be refreshed. All right, so inside the script.js file, the one that was provided by Brad Traversy, inside the course, there's an event listener here. Okay, you see there's an event listener on the movie select element, which is the select element itself, which is a change. So a change element is a change event is called whenever the option is changed. Okay, so we want to run our refresh seat here. Refresh seat whenever it is changed. So let's save it. All right, so let's go back to our page and let's refresh. Okay, so now we have this. Take note of this seat that has been booked 1, 2, 3, 4. that those has been booked. So you are changing to Joker. Okay, so guys, it's not working because it's left with one last thing you are supposed to do for this thing to work. Let's refresh and see. Alright, so let me just one last thing for us to do for this thing to work, and it's you are supposed to remove all the occupied seats or the occupied class from all the seats first before. Okay, so let's jump into the script again. Yeah. Alright, so guys, beneath this line here where we are calling the beneath this line here where we are getting the movie index, we are going to run a for loop on all the seats. So on all the seats you are going to run a for each. So for each you are going to get each particular seat, and for each seat you are going to remove each seat for the class list of it. You are going to remove the class occupied from it, so that all the seats become blanks when we change it. So when it gets to this place and it has been booked, this part, when it has been booked, then it's going to give it the occupied again. Alright, so let's save it. Let's come back, let's refresh. Let me refresh again. Okay, so take note of the seat that has been booked here. Let's change. Okay, we are having an error. Okay guys, so we're getting an error. The functions were not working because my browser was caching in the file, so it was not updating. So I just corrected it. So let's change this to this. You see it has been updated now. Let's change back to Avengers. You see it has been updated. Perfect, it's now working perfect.